Welcome back to another explainer. Today we are taking a strictly data-driven, highly analytical approach to a text that, honestly, on its surface, just looks like a chaotic, brightly colored world. But we are going to mathematically and structurally deconstruct the entire nursery rhyme universe. By really digging into the raw source text, we're going to map out the biomes, the demographics, and the surprisingly strict rules that actually govern the creatures living inside this fascinating ecosystem.
Okay, let's dive into this. We've got a highly structured journey today. We're starting with the colorful chicks phenomenon, then moving into weather dynamics, evaluating agricultural transit, uncovering the real truth about McDonald's farm, and finally, analyzing the grueling journey of a single spider.
So, our first stop brings us to Section 1, the colorful chicks phenomenon, focusing on demographics and color theory. We're entering the very first self-contained biome of this universe, and this brilliantly illustrates an absolutely extreme correlation between pigmentation and behavioral traits in the local bird population. In this ecosystem, a chick's color literally dictates its exact biological function. When we look at the raw data, the yellow chick strictly goes beep, beep, beep. The red one twirls and takes a leap. Green giggles. Orange is confined to just saying round and round. Purple bounces, pink shakes a tiny tail, and white rides a cotton trail. There is zero deviation here, folks. Their color is their destiny.
So, what's actually driving them? It's this relentless biological imperative. The text notes that they run, they roll, they spin with their feathers shining, but the absolute most vital piece of data is this finding right here. Color chicks don't want to stop. They are an unstoppable, undeniable force of dancing, jumping, and flipping flop. But while all this colorful frenzy is happening, there's a fascinating secondary pattern woven into the text. Sheep, sheep, hop, hop. This phrase just occurs over and over again, interspersed seamlessly between the actions of the chicks. It acts as an omnipresent event, basically a continuous background phenomenon of hopping sheep that provides this rhythmic anchor to the entire ecosystem. The chicks dance, but the sheep hop, concurrently and forever.
Leaving the avian biome behind, we move into Section 2, Animal Weather Dynamics, subtitled Meteorological Conflicts and Family Units.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how rigid the social demographics get when the weather turns hostile. When it rains, we see a totally unified, recurring three-tier family structure across three distinct species: horses, cows, and pigs. You've got daddy, mommy, and baby. And whether the daddy horse is going neigh, 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 the mommy cow is going moo, 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 or the baby pig is going oink, 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 their vocalizations are entirely synchronized in a collective demand for the rain to go away and come again another day.
But within this very rigid structure, the text throws a massive anomaly at us. When the daddy, mommy, and baby horse neigh, we get happy horses. Makes sense, right? When the cow family moves, we get happy cow. But when the daddy, mommy, and baby pig go oink, 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 the text explicitly states the result is happy chicks. This is a stunning revelation. It shows an unexpected cross-species ecological reliance. The emotional well-being of the chicks we were just talking about is directly tied to the anti-rain vocalizations of the local pig population. It's a fantastic reminder that in any dataset, the most critical dependencies are usually the ones you least expect. So how do all these animals get around? Let's move to Section 3 and see how this builds our understanding. Agricultural public transit, specifically domestic commuters. We are formally introduced to the primary mode of transportation in this universe, a bus, whose wheels go round and round all through the town. This establishes a highly standardized municipal transit loop serving a very specific demographic of domestic animal commuters. We've got cows going moo, sheep going baa, pigs going oink, horses going neigh, and chickens going cluck, all localized safely on this one bus route. But seriously, looking at this data forces us to ask a pretty glaring question. If the standard domestic livestock, the cows, the pigs, the chickens, the sheep, are all busy riding the bus through town, who exactly is living on the farm? And that brings us to Section 4, Old MacDonald's Exotic Farm, covering irregular zoning and agriculture. When we actually look at the property owned by Old MacDonald, it drastically shatters all the established rules of traditional agriculture we just saw on the town bus. Just contrast our completely mundane, everyday domestic bus commuters with MacDonald's livestock. He is exclusively hoarding safari-level wild megafauna. We're talking an elephant, a giraffe, a lion, a zebra, and a hippo. The zoning irregularities here are frankly staggering. So the crucial point is not just what these animals are, but the sounds they are emitting. Notice the highly unusual, almost mechanical sounding auditory anomalies assigned to these creatures. The elephant isn't trumpeting, it's emitting a tuck-tuck and a toe. The zebra isn't braying, it's producing sharp synthetic sounds like gip, kink, zip, zap, and tap. It's literally like McDonald's farm is operating on an entirely different frequency from the rest of the town.
And guys, it reaches critical mass with the hippo. The text explicitly states that there is a squawk here, a swish there, a squash there, and ultimately everywhere a swish squash. This isn't just an animal noise anymore. It's a full-scale environmental phenomenon that has entirely overtaken McDonald's property. Finally, we're going to shift our focus from the macro environment to a micro study of a single organism. In Section 5, the spider's cyclical journey, a grueling tale of resilience. We're introduced to the itsy-bitsy spider, an organism trapped in an inescapable struggle against the elements. Let's methodically map out the chronological loop acting upon it. Step 1, the spider expends precious energy to climb the waterspout. Step 2, catastrophic meteorological intervention hits. Down comes the rain, washing the spider out. Step 3, solar intervention. Out comes the sun, drying the rain. And Step 4, the biological imperative kicks right back in and the spider climbs the spout again. But get this. Here is the most striking piece of data in the entire text. 7. The source text documents this exact, unbroken sequence repeating 7 distinct times. Not once, not twice, 7 times the spider climbs, 7 times the rain washes it out. It is a grueling, Sisyphus-like existence, highlighting the extreme physical and meteorological forces constantly at play in this universe. So, what does this all mean? It leaves us with a pretty massive final thought. In a world where chicks never stop dancing to hopping sheep, where pigs somehow control the happiness of birds, and where exotic farms echo with mechanical zip-zaps, does the spider ever truly conquer the spout? Or is this entire ecosystem simply a monument to endless, brightly colored repetition? Think about what that means for how we recognize baseline assumptions in the data and media we consume every day. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep analyzing the world around you, and I'll catch you next time.